Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of 51 Stories of Emotional Wellbeing with Emotional Ability Resources. Today, I have with me Ruchika Goel, a passionate traveler who owns her own travel company by the name A Girl in a Red Scarf. She's mom to 2 kids and is settled in Hyderabad for the last 20 plus years. So, welcome to the show, Ruchika.
Hi. Thank you, Pragati.
It's lovely to have you here. And tell me a little bit about your childhood and any personal traumas or any difficulties that you faced that helped shape you into the woman you are today.
So yeah, there have been lots that happened when I was a kid. I was put in a hostel at the age of 5, which I did struggle with in the beginning, which any child would. But it was not something that really traumatized me because I settled into hostel life very easily, and I made friends really fast, and I had a great time all along school. But the few challenges that I did face, I don't know if that's what makes me what I am today, but yeah, I did identify a lot of trauma and blind spots in my childhood. I did a course in Landmark. I don't know if everyone knows about it, where I was quite, at not really rock bottom, but I was feeling fairly low in those days. And so through Landmark, I did manage to realize that there were a few things that I've put under the carpet and which I should address in order to move on and be happier. And yeah, there was one aunt of mine. We were in a joint family. My dad was in a joint family back then. So whenever we had holidays from school, we used to, this aunt of ours, as in my father's elder brother's wife, uncle used to stay in Jaipur. So we used to have our smaller holidays there, as in winter holidays, which were just 20-25 days. My dad couldn't afford to fly us back to Imphal for those few days. So we used to stay with his aunt. And my dad being the youngest and me being a girl child, and me being the only child of my dad who was younger than this uncle. The other kids were all older uncle's children. So he was the boss and, the breadwinner. As in Marwadi families, the elder brother is the boss. So anyway, so this aunt, I don't know, one memory that doesn't leave me is because it was when it started raining one day when I was in class 8 or 9. And this uncle of mine came to the terrace and I was dancing in the rain, having a great time. And this uncle's son and me used to really get along well. So both of us were playing in the rain. And I remember that memory doesn't leave me, that I was so happy dancing in the rain. And so was my cousin, and my uncle came up and he got so angry for something as simple as me playing in the rain, and he pulled out a hunter and he beat me with it like to no end. And obviously till the longest time when I did this course, that I didn't realize that it actually scarred me to a point that I had not forgotten that episode, and it was vividly clear in front of me what happened that day. So yeah, in terms of childhood bad memories, that was one. And this was a perpetual trauma that I had because, whenever I stayed in that house, I was not even allowed to eat an apple without her permission. And, so when I was growing up, I was always tell my friends in school, I don't want anything else other than marry a rich man, because I just felt that all these things that I'm getting deprived of not even getting to eat an apple out of a fridge, or so we went on a family trip. We were like 7-8 of us in one Maruti van, and she put me in the dicky on top of all the luggage. Mm-hmm. She asked me to lie down on top of all the luggage, and we went to Badrinath from Delhi in all that. So, all of it added up to the fact that I think we don't have enough money. That's why I have to live like this or whatever. Mm-hmm. So my only ambition all along my teenage was, and I used to tell my friends all along school, that I don't want to study. I don't want to do anything. I just want to marry a rich man. And probably thank God for the man I have. And So that was one. And then, yes, something I've never disclosed to anybody, but it has helped me, and which I don't mind sharing today, because if I can help the younger generation and I can help today's mothers to be brutally honest with their sons and daughters, that there is something known as physical abuse that happens to young children, and we should educate them versus hiding it from them. That's why I share this episode. I won't go into the details, but yes, it's it was a family member, and I went for a sleepover. And generally, parents tend to let you go to family members' houses, and he just that trauma just never left me, because all through the night he just saw, I mean, abused me to no end. And I was so naive that I actually thought, what if I'm pregnant? And I was so dumb that you needed to have intercourse to get pregnant. But he did everything other than that, and I was just running and hid inside the bathroom for 6 hours that night just to rescue myself from this abuse. And that is why I shared this with my daughter, and so did I share it with my son and my husband, so that there's no I'm not ashamed about it, because it's not me who did something to someone did something to me. I'm just sharing it so that all of you should not be ashamed about something that some idiotic human being did to you. Just make sure that you can share this with as many as you can, so that you can protect and save many more from this trauma. That's my only purpose of sharing this with you, Pragati. I've never said it, and today I'm glad you made me come here and talk about it. And I feel like maybe this is yet another closure that I'm having with myself, that I could speak about it publicly without feeling ashamed about it. So thanks, Pragati.
So much, Ruchika. It really moves me to tears to see the amount of courage you have shown today. I've gone to boarding school with you as a young child, and you were always guarded with your emotions. While you were very flamboyant and fun to be with, but there was always a part of you which you never spoke about. Today, hearing this from your mouth gives me goosebumps. We've known each other for almost 30 years now. But sometimes the closest people we are with, we do not share. And this sense of shame that we carry in our adulthood is what paralyzes us. So, to come out with this personal story with the hope of inspiring others is very, very courageous, and kudos to you. And like you rightly said, the other person could be a family member, could be a friend, but safety and security of a young child is something that we as a society need to be a little more mindful about. So, how are you feeling talking about it? And anything else that you feel has had a very deep impact on you?
In my childhood, well, um, I wouldn't talk about any other traumatic incident, but yes, I've had happy times in school, and probably the best years of my life were then. And little bit here and there happens, and I don't have any other bad episode or anything that traumatized me which I carry till today, because probably I've written it off. So I do have a habit of writing something that troubles me, and I tear it, and I feel like I've closed it, because I can't talk about it and undo what has happened. But I try to deal with it by addressing it, or writing it down and making a journal or sharing it. I pretty much share everything with my kids. So, and I have no shame about it, because I just feel if we don't tell them, who will? Our role as parents is to definitely guide them and tell them about incidents. So I tell my daughter about when she questioned me when I said no sleepovers, and I don't allow her to sleep on the same bed with any boy. It could be anybody. It could be your own brother. It could be anybody. Just for the simple reason I say people don't have to necessarily be that bad. It could just be raging hormones that makes them do bad things. So let's not get you into a situation which could cause something unpleasant which would scar you. So yeah, I mean, that's the best way. And I'm happy the way my kids have turned out. So no regrets.
This is
So
just
yeah.
amazing. You're also doing a fairly unconventional job today. You handle your family's plywood business, which traditionally doesn't see a lot of women. So tell us a little bit more about it, your passion, and how it led to your passion for having your own travel company. Tell us a little bit about the work that you do today.
So yeah, I mean, my husband's family is into the retail business of all interior based products, where we started from plywood. And after probably my kids were in class 5 and 6, so I must tell you that recently, about literally 3 days back, there's a publication that reached out to me, and I've been selected as one of the top 10 women entrepreneurs for Telangana.
Wow,
So yeah,
congratulations.
that day, thank you. So that day, it made me, if nothing else, it made me have a moment of gratitude for the one person who's empowered me, and that's my father-in-law, because he was the one who actually used to he's chased me literally for 1 year, every day on the breakfast table when I was a housewife. He used to tell me that you should join the family business. And I said, I don't know anything about it. So he used to every day tell me that you learn, come. And I hated him for that 1 year. And finally, one day he said, you studied in such a premium college of the country, and is this why you studied? You are no better than anyone else who's working in this house as a maidservant, who's not educated. How are you doing anything more concrete and with your education and your life? Don't you want to give it a thought? That hit me like a ton of bricks. And then my husband opened another showroom, and in the opening, without telling me, he told everyone, this is Ruchika's cabin and she's joining work from tomorrow. And that came to me as a shock. And I took him aside and I said, what the hell do you mean? I never go to work. He's like, it's okay, come for 1 hour from tomorrow. And that's how I actually was pulled into the work and the family business. I wasn't ready for it. It took me practically 3 years of knowing nothing. Nothing. I used to go and sit there for 2 hours, 3 hours, curse him, and come back. After 3 years, there again, some staff of ours or someone misbehaved and he stole a lot of money right under my nose. And I mean, mishandling of funds happened. And I just realized, am I such a big idiot that, I actually, right under my nose, someone has cheated me and gone. That's the day I said, I'm going to learn it. And I had no shame. I used to ask my staff, teach me this. How is this done? How is that done? And yeah, Pragati, it took me literally 2 years to learn everything about the business. And then me and my husband and I spoke, and he takes care of the entire PR, sales, and everything. That's not my forte at all. And I realized that his weakness is that he's terrible at admin and logistics and planning. And that's what I took up and took over completely from him, because I realized he doesn't have the time for it. And that's where the mismanagement was happening. And today I just love what I do at Vikas Plywood. And I look forward to going to work every day. Even if I'm unwell, I feel a sense of responsibility to go to office, because I feel things will come to a standstill if I'm not there. So yeah, I mean, I just have so much, I take so much pride in it that my husband and I have scaled it up to another level by, I mean, I don't even want to brag about it, but I take pride in it that, yeah, we are another level in our family business and we've grown by leaps and bounds. And
Fantastic.
yeah,
I think
so
you deserve a pat on your back for that, acknowledging hard work and literally working. And, you probably gave it a shot where many women would have quit. You literally got pushed into something. But when you realized that this is where you needed to be, you worked and you learned the ropes. And that is really, really commendable. Let's talk a little bit about travel. You run a travel company with a very interesting name. So tell us a little bit about that.
So yeah, we went on our first trip to Europe. that was my first time to Europe, and I so excited that see Yash Chopra movies and all that. So after about being into my marriage for 7-8 years, that was the first time my husband said, okay, let's go. So we went to Switzerland and we went to Paris, and we went obviously through a regular travel agency. And all my dreams and things about all these places came crashing down because we were booked in some trash hotels away from the city. It took us hours to commute into the, like, they'll write a fancy name, but I was literally in the outskirts of Paris, which used to take me 1 hour to come into the city. And overall, the whole trip was not what I had dreamt of as Europe. And that's when I said, I'm never going to use a travel agent who I don't know properly. And I'm going to plan. I'm not dumb to not be able to read up and, plan my own trips. That's when I took it up. And then slowly, we started traveling a lot more frequently. And I started reading, and internet became more accessible and everything. So, but to cut it short, I started planning each and every trip that we went for. And even for our entire group, we have a friend circle of 6-7 couples, travel together frequently. So every trip was planned by me, and everyone was so happy that I started getting confidence in myself about my planning. And then started happening that random friends, people started coming into my office and saying, hey, plan this for me, plan that for me. And I slowly started realizing that it's a thankless job, because if you come and tell me, I want to go to Paris, it's what you think of Paris and what you want as an itinerary will be very different from what someone else will want. Because you or someone might be, you like to get up at 8 o'clock and, do high speed tourism. Someone else likes it differently. Someone else likes to get up leisurely at 11, wants to spend less on hotels, wants to spend more on shopping. So everyone has their idea of a trip. So my kids and my husband, they forced me to start a travel company where my hard work, because I spend hours and hours and days, I literally take more than 20-25 days to plan a trip, because I read intensely till I, like, per se, it's you care about boutique hotels, somebody cares about a 500 room 5-star hotel, somebody hates it. So I was doing this for anyone and everyone who crossed my path, and it was sucking out all my energy and time, and it was becoming thankless, which is why it got me to realize that I got to start this company so that people who truly desire to travel well will definitely agree to pay my service charge. And that is why I said, I don't want people who just want to go, who say, oh, I'm okay to stay in a 10 square meter room, 10 square feet room, 20. That's not how I do it. 2 days in Paris, 1 day in Switzerland, 1 day in London, 2 days in this. Those are not passionate travelers. Those are Instagram travelers who want to put their picture out there for me. That's my opinion. So anyway, so I have started this travel company purely to cater to passionate travelers who feel deeply and immensely about their travel, to help them see, places differently versus what an SOTC or Thomas Cook will put out there for you. Because I'm not going to book a 4 seasons and just say, okay, go there. That anyone can book. I'm going to find you. If you're going to, per se, Morocco, I'm going to put you in a Riyadh. I'm not going to put you in a 5-star hotel, which anybody can do. I'm going to spend time finding you a local experience. So my travel company is all about getting you the right experience in the right place and the local, authentic food.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to scale this up only for those who feel about their travel and they don't feel reluctant and bad to pay my service fees, because they respect the time that goes into planning a holiday. So yeah, I love what I do. And for those people who love what I do, because I have repeat clients who come back who say, I can't travel without your advice.
So yeah, from an aimless teenager, today you're a budding entrepreneur who ensures that, wherever you spend your time and energy, you are adequately rewarded. And the people who come to you for your services have memorable memories and, moments that they can treasure throughout life. And I kind of like that approach, that if you're passionate about what you do, money always follows, and success also follows. And very rightly, sometimes we are pushed into certain situations, which in retrospect we realize has happened because, it really empowered us. And sometimes it's our passion which makes us pursue goals, and even they bear fruit. So I like that individual approach, that when we are willing to take stock of any opportunity that comes our way, we grow and thrive irrespective. So, who has been your role model in this journey?
In my role model, I think all my strength and I have a few strengths which I pride in, and that is one of them, is the biggest one I pride in, is that I'm very proactive in anything that I make up my mind to do. And that's what my husband tells me, that I'm a go-getter. I don't give up easily. And all these things come to me from my father, because I just feel he is extremely smart and independent for whatever he does. He doesn't depend on anybody to get his work done, even though he need to. So yes, I got a lot of traits, and he's inspired me to be so independent. But yeah, the wind beneath my wings is my husband, definitely. He is someone who's totally empowered me to be so independent. He lets me be the boss everywhere. By that, I don't mean he's a henpecked husband, because that's the typical thing for every one to say that, oh, Vicky, you're such a henpecked husband. But that's not what he is. He empowers me by letting me take the responsibility and giving me the power to take the responsibility. And that is probably the only reason that I have got so much confidence in myself in every way, whether it's business decisions, whether it's personal decisions. Yes, I owe it all to him. And yes, definitely my children who support who actually, I'm a very emotional person. So I quite nag them, and I'm quite a demanding mother in terms of emotionally, which those two really take care of me. So yeah, there are a lot of them who've given me a lot of love, and I'm very happy. So,
So,
yeah.
how do you look after your emotional health on a regular basis? What kind of emotional ability resources do you use on a daily basis?
So for me, emotional health is about being happy. And so Pragati, I don't have these stigmas in my head that, oh, if I do this, what will this one think? Oh, if I do that, that is an expectation from me. So from the day I've been married, first day when I was married, they asked me to cover my head with the sari, how we Marwari girls are expected to do. So I was very clear on day one, where I said that, hey, with no disrespect to anybody, I'm not going to cover my head, but remember one thing, that I'm there for you when you need me, and I'll fulfill every duty of mine as a daughter in this house, not a daughter-in-law. But if covering my head shows respect to my father-in-law, that's not something I can do. So I've never been someone who's fake or superfluous or whatever. So, well, I think my very reason for being emotionally stable also goes because one is definitely we have great friends here, and we have nothing fake going on in our lives. So we are very transparent, and we have a great time together. Whether people judge Vicky and I, that we party a lot, we travel a lot, we spend a lot. The fact remains that we live our life on our terms, and that plays a huge role in me being emotionally stable in every possible way, because I don't live to please anybody. I truly care, I deeply care, but if something doesn't agree with me, I'm not going to do it for someone else's sake. And yeah, I do yoga, I do my pranayam, and I have amazing friends who I can chat with. I have a supportive husband. So I don't know. Well, in terms of emotional stability, yes, I had a downtime for about 2 months when I lost my mother-in-law, and at the same time, my son left for the US. Did have a phase when I was getting anxiety attacks and everything, which was a terrible time, which I thought I won't come out of. But yes, there again, gave me the confidence, and so did my children, that mom, you're way stronger than this to succumb to something like this. And so at one point I did say I want to see a shrink because I was not able to get a grip on myself. And but yeah, in that phase I would say that I don't know what to say, but other than I'm a strong believer of affirmations. And so I do regularly. The only thing that I do is my pranayam is I'm very regular, and I definitely read. I read out and I say aloud a lot of affirmations every day, and that gives me a lot of power. And I'm a huge believer of karma as well. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if that answers your question, but that's what keeps me going.
I like that. So you keep your karma clean to ensure that you get what you believe in life, and I kind of like that approach. So, any tips that you want to leave our viewers with before we sign off?
I would just say, and I tell that to my friends as well, stop living on the terms dictated by the world. Learn to do things that make you happy. And for that, I just feel like that's what I do. Like if I feel like having 2 drinks today, I'll have 2. If I feel like having 10, I'll have 10. Let anyone judge me for it. I don't give a rat's ass. So if I feel like, I'm supposed to be sad today because something bad happened. No, I'd rather go out, have a good time. So my approach is that just be happy and stop worrying about what people are talking about you. Because no matter what you do, people are going to talk about you. And they're talking about you, you probably have something that they don't have. So it's okay. So that's all. I mean, live your life on your terms. Don't hurt anyone. That's all.
I like that. And that was very poignant and very fearless to acknowledge that, yes, you follow the call of the heart and you dispose. I mean, whenever you want something, you just go for it. I like that. And I wish you all the very best, Ruchika. And thank you so much for sharing your views with everybody here today.
Thank you, Pragati, for your trust in me to let me talk.